All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we actually have a legendary individual right here live on the line. We got the one and only New Jersey Devil, DJ, producer, and of course, hip-hop artist. How are you doing this evening?
Man, I'm good, man. Can't complain, man. Out here in Florida enjoying this good weather.
Hey, man, you can never go wrong with Florida, especially in the summertime, man. Like, how hot is it out there, if you don't mind me asking?
About 91 a day, man. It's still, you know what I mean? It's good, humid, but, you know, I'm an island boy, man, like a real island boy. So this I love being around the ocean. I love being in this type of atmosphere. For me, this is home, man.
Hey, 91 degrees, that sounds like perfect beach weather, man. Sitting there under the trees, definitely a phenomenal day for it.
Nice day at the beach, a little mimosa, you know what I mean? Good vibes, good smoke, be good over here.
But Jerzey, I don't want to take you away from the beach too long, so I'm going to dive right into this interview. But I got to ask, for starting at the very beginning, man, like what originally made you decide to just pursue a career within the music industry, man? Because you're such a legendary individual.
Man, music always been in my blood since a youngin'. You know what I mean? So I always knew I was gonna do music. You know what I mean? Started out with like a little karaoke machines and some, you know, some BS little turntables and whatnot, whatever. And that just made me just want to learn more about music entirely. You know what I'm saying? Not just being a DJ. That's why I wear so many hats. You know what I mean? I started DJing and I got interested in producing. Producing led me to being an artist. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth, man. So I just want to grasp every angle of the music game, man, because it's a deep passion that I got.
And I also read as well, and I do want to say first and foremost, I was kind of like iffy on asking this question, but if you do want to skip this one, you most definitely can. No hard feelings on that one. But I read at the age of 18, you actually traded a .48 caliber to a friend for a DJ setup. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about that, and of course, what actually made you decide to make that life-changing decision?
It was a 45, but yeah, man. So basically, at that time, I was playing with the guns a lot, man, and I was you know, it's kind of heading to a direction where I ain't really want to go. I seen everybody that went down that path, you know what I mean, never had any positivity on the end of it. So opportunity came where I came across one of my friends who actually had a whole DJ setup, and they needed some protection, you know what I mean? So I just jumped at the opportunity, man, took it home because it was something that I really couldn't afford anyway, you know what I mean? It was something that I couldn't afford that I really didn't have any money for at the time, so I traded what I had for the turntables, man, and you know, made me take it more serious. It got me more in tune, more intrigued. I learned about it more deeply, and man, the rest is history. Here we are, man. 20-some years later.
And I gotta say as well, that decision right there definitely was kind of like one of those "what road are you gonna go down" type situations, man. Do you ever think to yourself sometimes, what if I never would have traded, you know, that for the DJ setup, or do you just kind of just enjoy life and roll with it?
I mean, yeah, a lot of times when I go back home, I see a lot of people that I grew up with that did take that type of path. You know what I mean? And I see where they ended up at, which is either dead or in jail. So I'm very grateful for me taking that opportunity to, you know, trade that in something negative for something positive and make something out of my life, man. So yeah, I think about it a lot, man. Especially like I said, when I go back home to Jersey, I kind of see all of, you know, people that didn't make it and ended up or just not even alive no more, man. So I'm very grateful that I made that decision, man. I never regret it.
And also as well, in the early stages of your career, you actually became a part of the Dark Child production team. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about that opportunity, and of course, what was it like just working with them so early on?
Actually, they was the first people that actually that took anything serious from me, because at that point I was just doing beats for like kids around the neighborhood. Nothing rapid. I was rapping. I was doing beats for. I wasn't really thinking at that point like I could make something like a whole life career out of it at that time. You know what I mean? Because I was kind of far fetched around that time. But one of the local rappers that I did do some production for took it to Rodney Jerkins, and then he asked the rapper like, yo, who did the beat? You know what I'm saying? And so then he tracked me down, you know what I mean, hit me on a little SkyTel two-way page or whatever it was. and set up a meeting, man, and it gave me my first opportunity, man. Rodney Jerzey, bro, he definitely brought me to the game, moved me to L.A., and that's actually how I met Game and all that was through Rodney and all that. Well, him, taking me to L.A. anyway. So, and it was just an amazing thing, man, because me growing up in Jersey where I was at, he was like the childhood hero for everybody that did music. At the time, he was working with Michael Jackson, Destiny's Child, all the greats, you know what I mean? So, and then we used to always see the flashy little cars, the Benzes through the gate, like, damn, I want to be in there one day. So for him to reach out and say he liked my music, my production, and wanted to work with me, was like a dream come true.
And I got to say as well, man, you definitely did some phenomenal work for Dark Child as well. And the one that I actually remember was that you actually had the opportunity to work on the soundtrack for the movie Honey. I was wondering, could you tell us a bit more about that? And of course, what was it like just being able to work on such a huge motion picture project?
Man, it was great, man. A lot of that was my first time working on any type of project like that. You know what I mean? Before that, I was just kind of like just doing beats. Just doing the regular standard production. But one day the president from Miramax Films came in, and he brought the movie on a PHS tape. And then he asked us, like, Rodney had to leave town. So Rodney left me in the studio for 2 weeks, bro, and I had to learn how to digitize this motion picture movie that's going into the silver screen inside Pro Tools and just add music to it. So if you look into the soundtrack, a lot of the stuff in the back, like you'll hear a lot of up and coming rap musicians that wasn't anybody at the time. So that was me reaching out to people that I knew personally. It was just grabbing music that we did together and putting it on the soundtrack, man. And it was a great experience, man. A great learning experience. Man, I loved it, man. I was just blessed to be a part of the opportunity, man. And it was just a great feeling just to know, like, to sit back and watching motion picture on this big silver screen and your music playing in the background, man. That was just probably like one of my first times, like, damn, I'm really doing this. I'm really, you know what I mean? I'm really in the music industry right now.
And I have to ask as well, did you get the opportunity to visit the set of the film as well and actually interact with any of the actors, or was it just strictly soundtrack work?
No, we actually went to Toronto. Most of it was filmed in Toronto. They portrayed it to be like it was in New York, but it was in Toronto. So we did go on the set. We did watch everything, just trying to get a vibe for it and all that. You know what I mean? And honestly, just to see where the artist was at, what they wanted to do, what type of music they wanted to bring to the table. So it was a dope vibe, man. Because we actually just got to partake in more just the music. Like you said, was actually on set and really seeing what was going on, and catching the whole vibe.
And I gotta say as well, man, it's really monumental how Hollywood can do that, make such a Canadian city look like New York, like you said. Like, well, how was your stay out in Toronto? Like, was that your first and only time out there here in Ontario, or did you visit multiple times?
That was my first time out there. It was brief, and then when I did come back again, after that, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. Is Get That Cat. She was a promoter up at the time, and she actually booked me for a yacht party. And actually Drake came to the yacht party. We chopped it up, man, and from that moment on, man, like I seen Drake probably years and years later after he blew up. And I was always close to Lil Wayne, though, so I had went to a Lil Wayne concert, and Drake had just dropped that song, You the Best, or whatever that was at the time. And then he seen me, and he ran up to me like, yo, what's up? Like, he's always been the same person since the day I met him on that yacht when he was just a nobody, like an upcoming rapper. So him being way successful, man, and me seeing him later, he always kept the same energy, man, and probably one of the realest dudes in the game that I met, man, and never changed his energy on me, you know what I mean?
And while we're actually on the topic of Lil Wayne, I actually, I remember this song when it actually came out. In 2009, you actually released the self-produced single titled Different Girls featuring Lil Wayne. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a story behind that single, and of course, what was it like just being in the studio working with Lil Wayne?
It was crazy because I did the beat, you know what I mean? When I did the beat, I was like, oh, this is dope. I want to, that was at the time where I just wanted to start pursuing the artistry a little more and started rapping. So I did my part. I did the beat. I took it to the Hit Factory Studios in Miami, and I honestly just wanted Lil Wayne's opinion. I wasn't really expecting him to jump on the song, But I played him the song, and he was like, he loved it from the rip. He was like, oh, let me get on it. I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, go ahead. So after that, man, we actually did like a few, like probably 2 or 3 more songs after that also. But yeah, man, like Lil Wayne probably one of the people that actually like pushed me to start doing more rap. You know what I mean? Because like I said, once he loved the song, he jumped on it. One of my first songs, I went to doing a song with the biggest rapper in the game at the time. You know what I mean? So I just really like influenced me to just go harder with the music as a rapper, man. And yeah, and his studio ethic is like second to none. This dude go in the studio, do full album songs, mix masters, features, everything in one day, bro. Like I ain't never seen somebody go as hard as Lil Wayne in the studio. But I mean, that just goes to show how much passion that he got for this music industry. You know what I mean? He got a real deep passion for hip hop. Everything with him is genuine. He doesn't do nothing he doesn't like. You know what I mean? So for him, like I said, for him to actually like one of my first songs was big for me, man. And I'm always grateful for that.
Because when you actually mentioned that he was like the biggest artist in the rap industry, then if I'm not mistaken, I think in like 2008 is when he actually dropped the Carter 3, which had probably one of the biggest songs of a decade, which is Lollipop.
Right, and that's probably the same time where I dropped Different Girls around that era, because I do remember after he went platinum that first week, I had called him one day and he was like, yo, I'm about to go to Bahamas for a couple of days, just to celebrate whatever, and I'll be back. So when he got back, he called me and he was like, yo, I'm back from Bahamas. I'm going to the studio back to work. I'm like, damn, bro, you just dropped the #1 album. You got, you know what I mean? Like, he had the biggest album of the damn decade, and he went right back to the booth, man, right back to the studio, man, and that's when I knew. I said, this boy is special. This boy is real special, because that type of work ethic doesn't really exist anymore, man.
And also as well, going to your producing side of things, one of my favorite producing credits that you actually did is where you actually did some work on Fat Joe's album Me, Myself, and I on the song Breathing Stop. I was wondering, how did yourself and Fat Joe originally get connected? And of course, what was it like just working on that album with Joey Crack?
Man, I'm Puerto Rican and I was born in the Bronx, you know what I mean? So Fat Joe and Big Pun, all that, those are like icons to me as a kid. Those are like my childhood heroes, you know what I mean? So, and as my early years in the music industry, I was always trying to get at Joe, But back then there was no social media, it wasn't as easy as to get with somebody now as it was back. I mean, as it is now, not like back then. But I actually did that song first for Game. I did that song for Game, and then Game and Joe was just happened to be in the same studio one time in L.A., and Joey was like, yo, I want that beat, bro, and keep the hook on it. I want that for my album. So Game, we looked at me, was like, what you want to do? I'm like, hell yeah, go ahead, bro. So, we let Joe have it, man. He did his thing to it, man, and man, that was another blessing that in my career that I always wanted to accomplish and do as a kid growing up, to listen to being a huge Terror Squad fan. You know what I mean?
And I gotta say as well, myself as well, a huge Terror Squad fan, so I can only imagine what it would be like just to be able to be in the same studio and just share the booth and watch this man at work, man. It must have been such a monumental feeling just to be there and witness what you're witnessing, especially as a fellow East Coast artist.
Bro, it was amazing. Like I said, this is somebody that I looked up to my whole life. You know what I mean? My whole family being from the Bronx and me being Puerto Rican as well. He was just like, man, he's like, it don't get no better than that besides Pun, him and Pun, man, you know what I mean? So to me to get to be in the studio with him and actually work with him side by side was a dream come true.
And also, I do know you mentioned earlier on in the interview about how you actually got connected with the game was actually through Dark Child Productions. But I was wondering as well, because obviously you were a head producer for his Black Wall Street label. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about your days over there at Black Wall, and of course, what was it like just being able to work side by side the game, being his head producer?
Man, at the time, it felt regular, because when I met Game wasn't really Game yet. You know what I mean? He wasn't popular yet. You know what I mean? So when all the the popularity came into play and everything, it still felt normal to me because we still lived together. We still did everything day by day, every day. You know what I mean? Everything was like hand in hand with him. So for me, it felt normal. Me looking back at it now, seeing how much history was being made at the time, and not even realizing, it's like, damn, I wish I'd have cherished a couple more, sometimes better. You know what I mean? Or just, you know what I mean? It makes me miss those days a little more because, ain't nothing. A lot of people just want to be successful. But the struggle is everything, man. The struggle is, I mean, what you go through, to get where you're going and all that, man. Those are the times that you need to cherish and really, you know what I mean, and enjoy because those are the golden years, and those were my golden years in the hip hop game. All the history we created, with all the beats we took on, all the mixtapes we did, you know what I mean. So it was monumental for me, man. And I miss those days, man. And that's when hip hop was at its prime, man. And I mean, I love hip hop today too, but it's just a little bit different these days.
And I gotta say, one of my favorite releases that you actually did during your time at Black Wall Street was actually You Know What It Is Volume 3, the mixtape with yourself, DJ Ski, and of course, Game, man. You guys had so many phenomenal features on that album, man. Such an amazing project, man. I remember getting getting my hands on a disc back in the day, but now it's super scarce to actually find.
Right, man. Nah, that was a hip hop classic mixtape for the books, man. That was probably one of the illest diss mixtapes to anybody ever, man. The timing was crazy. Like the music was being sent to me left and right. Like Game kept recording, kept doing new stuff. Every time I thought I was done, we had to go back in there and add some more stuff. You know what I mean? And Steve would add splashes, little spices on there. And then I finished it up in Jersey at the time, and I was pressing it all up in my Black Wall Street studios in Atlantic City. And then Game was flying into New York at the time, so I had to rush to Rucker Park because it was Black Wall Street against Terror Squad playing in the Rucker Park that day. So I actually came in there. The game already started. I seen the DJ over there. I was like, yo, I gotta take over real quick. So I put a CD in there, man. I dropped the song. And man, the crowd went crazy when they heard the disc record. And we played it for the whole day, man. I probably gave away like 10,000 CDs just to fill out the streets real quick and let everybody know what was going on. And man, that's definitely a hip hop classic mixtape right there.
Yeah, I actually got my copy from one of my friends. He actually was visiting one of his family members or something out there in the States, and he actually brought it back. And he ended up giving it to me. This was like probably when I was I think I was like just 16 or 17 at the time. So many moves I end up losing it, but I played the living shit, excuse my language, out of that record, man. My favorite song off that was actually Street Music, featuring I believe it was Chic Louch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Chic Louch, yeah. That was a crazy joint right there. Yeah. We had a lot of good energy, man, and Game was really driven by the beef at that time. So the beef only poured gas on him and made him more hungrier, more aggressive, and more talented because I think he took all the negativity that was being thrown at him and really just, took it to heart, man, and it made him go so much harder. The hip hop is all, good competitive sport anyway, but obviously a lot of things wasn't, the beef went a little deeper than what it should have went, but it was good for hip hop. It was good for hip hop at the time, and it's just monumental times that people will never forget, man. You can't never take that away from them.
And also as well, jumping ahead of the timeline quite a bit, on January 21st of this year, 2022, you actually released the phenomenal single titled Lil B that I'm going to be playing immediately following this interview. But for the listeners that might not have had the opportunity to stream this most recent song of yours, what can they expect from it when I play it here on the FM dial momentarily?
It's just good music, man. This is me pretty much, on how I am today, what's going on. It's updated music. Good bounce to it. The drums is crazy. It's probably one of my favorite tracks that I did. And then honestly, the video came along on actually on the flyby, man. I took my homie Shula the Don, came through with the camera. I wasn't really planning it like that, you know what I'm saying? But then I came to Miami. He had some ideas. you know what I mean, we went to work, man, and we came up with a crazy video and a dope song, man. So I hope y'all love it. It's called Little Bit, you know what I'm saying? Featuring myself, so definitely bump that, man.
But also, I have to ask, what is next for yourself, New Jersey Devil? Is there anything we happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on 97.7 FM this evening.
Man, right now we're just getting ready for tour, man. So right now I'm just getting my mind right, just kind of relaxing a little bit before we get back on that road, man. The road, it takes a lot out of you, man. So, like I said, right now I'm just gearing up. I got a bunch of new music that I'm putting together. So when I'll definitely be releasing it on tour also with visuals as well. So I'm kind of when we go on tour this time, I'm documenting. We film a little documentary also. So, you know what I mean, definitely look out for that. I'll be releasing all information on my social media sites. Everything is at New Jersey Devil. So, you know what I mean, follow, stay tuned, and yeah, you're going to see some new shit, man.
And also, Jerzey, this is the time in the interview quickly that I give a chance for the individual that does slide into the radio station airwaves. Just a chance to give, like, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to, but most of all, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything New Jersey Devil if they're not already doing so.
Y'all can follow me, man. Instagram at New Jersey Devil, Facebook at New Jersey Devil 1, Twitter's at New Jersey Devil. You know what I mean? The email is icebergjersey@gmail.com for any bookings, features, anything y'all need to get at me. Man, and shout out to obviously the game, man. Drillmatic, August 12th. Definitely go cop that. You know what I'm saying? Got the tour coming up. And then, man, shout out to all the fans, man, the day ones, and everybody that's still rocking with us, man. Appreciate y'all.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, Jerzey, thank you so much, man, for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening and sliding into the 97.7 FM radio dial. Me, personally, I've been a fan for a long time, man, so just being able to chop it up with you here for a few minutes live on my station, man, is an absolute honor, man. So thank you so much for your time, and I'm definitely looking forward to much more music coming from yourself in the future as well.
Appreciate you having me, man. Anytime, man. I'm always here, man. Appreciate all y'all tapping in and listening, too, man.
Hey, man, you were most certainly welcome, man. Thank you so much, and definitely have yourself a wonderful night.
Likewise, bro.